Sarah Boone handed the judge another letter today.
I haven't gotten one. I'm sorry.
Well, it'll be filed in the case.
And apparently this letter was not uploaded for the world to see. So when it is, we'll definitely take a look at it and read it. But she was in a pretrial hearing today. And, if you guys read the letter, she's been wanting to appear in these trials, pretrial stuff. And she was here today with her lawyer as well, I believe. Now, her trial was scheduled to happen on July 24th, which is on Monday, I believe. Yeah, Monday. Same time, actually, as Taylor Shabiz as well. But they pushed it out for now to October 2nd. But it seems like, I think her defense team, I don't think they think that that's a date where they're going to be ready. But we're going to have a pretrial conference on September 8th and then September 20th as well. So we'll definitely keep an eye on that. But for now, it's on the books that the trial is going to happen on October 2nd. We'll watch some of the clip-ins. Well, actually, we're just going to watch the whole thing. Law and Crime, thank you so much. Uploaded the video. We'll watch the entire thing. It's only about 8 minutes long. Or we're going to listen to the pretrial stuff. And then we're going to segue over to... What else did I want to cover today? Oh! Oh, my gosh. Alexi Treviso's lawyer did an interview with, I think, Court TV. And they uploaded it yesterday. I watched it, but I'm going to watch it again with you guys. We already know that Alexi Treviso's in her defense team. They're going to blame the hospital. They're going to say that she didn't know she was pregnant, I guess, until she gave birth in the bathroom. But they're going to blame the hospital. They're going to say there's negligence, that she was pumped up with a lot of medications and stuff like that. I'm going to boost all the audio up for you guys. I saw a snippet of this and I thought this was an older pretrial that she had back in, I think, April. I don't know why. The setting, I mean, of course the setting looks the same, but like, I feel like her hair and everything looks the same, the demeanor. So I was like, is this a rewatch? What is this? Yeah, this is Sarah Boone. Oh, I guess I just assumed everyone knows who Sarah Boone is. I'm pretty sure you guys do, but just a little recap. Sarah Boone, she was arrested. This was 3 years ago, about 3.5 years ago, back in 2020, for leaving her husband in a suitcase. Now, she said it was accidental, but we found the detectives found a video that was recorded on her phone where it sounded like she was, maybe tipsy, boyfriend in a suitcase. Apparently, she said that they were playing hide and go seek, but she did tell the 911 operator that she put him in the suitcase.
Photos, videos that you remember doing on your phone on Sunday? No.
I think I took a picture of a dog. It's that long.
2 minutes.
For everything you've done to me. For everything you've done to me. Fuck you. Stupid. Sarah. That's my name. Don't wear it up.
But anyways, she said she found him the next morning and he wasn't breathing. She didn't know what to do. Her story is very, it's going to be a hard time for a defense team. But yeah, her story is pretty bad. We already got her testimony from, or not testimony. We already got her account of events from the 911 call, from the body cam footages when the police showed up, and then also from the interrogation as well. I think when we get closer to her trial, though, I'm planning on rewatching. Well, I didn't watch the full interrogation. I watched the JCS version. If you guys haven't seen that, watch it on JCS. It's really great. But I'm going to watch the full interrogation video just to see it all over again. Hi, Plain Jane. Hi, Tam. How's it going? I know the haircut. I mean, it's practical when you're in jail. You ain't got to style it or anything or worry about, someone yanking your ponytail or anything like that. So,
State of Florida versus Sarah Boone, 2020 CF 2603. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you shall give should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Good morning, ma'am. Tell me your name and your date of birth.
Sarah Boone, 10-10-77.
All right, we're here for a status hearing on your case.
Who's her lawyer? Bless them. We have Frank Bankowitz, who is her 6th attorney, and he tried... He tried to get out of it about an end of December, I think, and the judge denied that. I do believe she has another second attorney working with her as well. Was it on here? Let's see. I saw another attorney's name somewhere. Was it in the notice of hearing? What is it? This is response. No access to that. Maybe this one. Maybe this one. Yeah, I think she has another attorney that's also working with her as well. Maybe the attorney works at the same office as the other guy. Frank Bankowitz. Dave Cacciatore is the state attorney. Oh, maybe it's just Frank Bankowitz. Am I getting it mixed up with a different trial? I could be. Oh, right here. This cause coming on to this day for pretrial conference and you, the defendant, Sarah Boone, being now not present and represented by Dave Varrett and Frank Bankowitz. So Dave Varrett's a new name that I've been seeing. Also, I love this judge's voice. Oh my God.
10-10-7-7.
All right, we're here for a status hearing on your case. Your case was set for pretrial conference back on
July 11.
July 12th, but as I
12th,
promised
okay.
you, I was going to bring you over, so whatever the things that we normally discuss at pretrial would be discussed while you were present in the courtroom. Mr. Bankwitz,
Because of the reflection, it looks like she has pink handcuffs on. Some kinky pink handcuffs.
in court, you previously discussed an issue with getting JAC to pay your expert, I'm going to just paraphrase, for this battered spouse defense.
Oh, yeah. So the defense that they're going to go for is a battered spouse defense. And I guess they have to have another expert witness to attest to that. I think initially her lawyer at a previous pretrial hearing mentioned that they were unable to find experts because there was a lot of experts that they reached out to that didn't want to touch this case, especially since it's so public, which I understand. Or maybe they look at this case and are like, yeah, no, we're not touching that because she left her husband or she left her boyfriend in a suitcase. But yeah, anyways, I remember hearing about that. And then now I guess they do have someone that's willing to work with them. However, I think their rates are a little bit too high. And JAC, what does that stand for again? JAC, hold on, JAC Florida. Justice Administrative Commission, I think, JSC. They're like, nah, that rate's too high. We ain't paying that. So I think they're kind of like going back and forth on that right now.
And they have filed a formal objection, which now has been set for hearing. I want to say September the 18th, first available time, because they have to have, they require 20 days for hearing purposes, and we couldn't get on your docket before that date.
All right. So, Mr. Cacciatore, Ms. Boone's present, Mr. Bankwitz is...
Okay, so the captions are a little bit off, but they're not completely off, so I'll keep them on for now. I think they're just messing up the names and stuff. Mr. Bankowitz is Mr. Bankwitz right now. Mr. Cacciatore is statutory right now. I do want to read this really quick since I did pull it up before we get to the rest of it, because this is just kind of a background story on what's happening right now. Oh, this right here. Okay. So, Justice Administration Commission's ex parte response to motion for appointment of defense forensic psychologist. I'm not going to read the whole thing. We're just going to be, we're not going to read the whole thing. So, the JAC, Justice Administrative Commission, by and through the undersigned attorney, and files his response to the above stated motion as follows. 1. Frank Bankowitz, so that's again defense counsel for Sarah Boone, is seeking the authorization for $15,000 at the rate of $400 per hour for services at $125 travel time for a defense mental health expert. Damn, 400. Based on the JAC records, the court previously appointed. You know what I should do? I feel like for each trial, I should keep track of how much money these experts are getting paid, just so I have like a database. And, you know, I don't know. I feel like it'd be really cool to refer to, because usually when they go up there to testify, the attorney would be like, okay, what's your rate? What are they paying you right now? Are they paying you a lot of money or something? So I think it'd be really interesting to kind of keep a record of that to see how much people are being paid. Based on JAC records, the court previously appointed a mental health expert to assist defense, albeit under the prior indignant for the counsel. JAC paid $7,500 for the services of this expert for services rendered from August 21st, 2020 through August 5th, 2022. JAC also has concerns about the rate requested for this expert. 2. JAC may only pay due process as authorized by Section 29007 Florida statutes. Number 3, as directed by Section 274.425 Florida statutes and the General Appropriations Act, all due process services are subject to the Florida statutes and the JAC contract policies, procedures, So here's what we got. The rate for a psychological examination is a flat fee of $350. For other services, the established rates for medical doctors and psychologists are as follows. So in-court testimony is $170 for the first hour or less, $170 per hour thereafter. B, waiting to testify court, $85 per hour. C, waiting to testify deposition, $72.50. D, travel time, $72.50 per hour. E, out of court services, $160 for the first hour or less, $160 per hour thereafter. What I am curious about, though, is how often are these rates updated? Like, was the last time the rates were updated was like 5 years ago or something? Because, you know, things are starting to get more expensive, especially with like, the travel stuff. So I wonder how up to date are they with the expense and stuff like that. So in court testimony, $170, and everything else is like half of that. But whatever expert that they're trying to get, $400 per hour for the services, and then $125 for travel time. So that is way beyond the $170 that JAC typically gives, I guess. 5, the counsel has a burden to establish a particularized needs for per expert services. Counsels need to show the services are necessary for the defense of the case. So again, they're going to go for the battered wife defense, and maybe JAC's like, I don't know if we're going to give it to you. So maybe that's why maybe the judge will need to say that, like, okay, you know what, JAC, I authorize you to get an expert because for the battered wife defense. Not really quite sure how that part works. C, while an indignant defense has a due right process of the assistance of the experts to his and a right case, that right is not unfettered. C, blah, blah, blah. The defendant is not entitled to, the right is limited to experts that are relevant and necessary to the defense of the case. So am I to assume that JAC doesn't believe that whatever expert that Sarah Boone is trying to hire is not relevant, not necessary to her case? The defendant is not entitled to a specific expert or one of his or her personal liking, but is only entitled to the services of a competent expert. I mean, it is possible that maybe the reason why they found an expert that charges a higher rate, like $400, is because maybe they try to ask the cheaper people and they're like, no, we don't want to touch Sarah Boone. No, thank you. We don't want to deal with that. So maybe the only person that's willing to do it is someone that's getting paid a higher rate. I don't know. 7, as enunciated by the Florida Supreme Court, attorney seeking due process cause has the burden to establish 1, the particularized need for the due process services, and 2, prejudice arising from the denial of due process services. There was something else that I wanted to read because I don't think we're not reading the whole thing. In light of the services already provided, counsel has a burden to show the need for a second mental health expert in this matter. So I'm assuming they already paid money out, the $7,500 for a first mental health expert, but now Sarah Boone and her attorneys, they want a second one, I guess, to aid in the battered wife defense. But I guess JAC's like kind of like, we don't know if you really need this. Is this really necessary? Is it really relevant? Although counsel may prefer the service of a preeminent expert, due process does not require the state to provide services that a wealthier defendant might elect to purchase. If the expert who has already valued the defendant can provide competent and meaningful service to defense, the court should not appoint another expert in this matter. Counsel also has a burden to show diligent efforts to obtain services within the rates established by law. JAC would not anticipate paying a rate in excess of $200. So again, they want $400 per hour for a defense mental health expert, absent some specialty that justifies a higher rate. Well, I mean, you know, the specialty would be someone who really who's an expert in, I guess, spousal abuse, right? Even if the expert has the specialty, JAC has a concern about paying a rate in excess of $300 per hour for even a specialized mental health expert. So they're saying that, like, okay, maybe we'll pay $200, maybe at most $300, but anything more than that, we're like kind of like, nah, like you want $400. So I guess we'll have to wait to see what the judge says, because I don't think he says. I don't think they figure that out right now. Okay, back to here. Oh, Dr. Hughes.
Asking to continue the case so that he can. We're gonna have to have.
No, Spiegel. I don't know. Maybe they can reach out to them.
Mr. Cacciatore, Ms. Boone's present. Mr. Banquets is asking to continue the case so that he can. We're going to have a hearing with JAC on his request for funding for a defense expert. Given my understanding of the case, that defense expert would be crucial to at least one defense that's going to be offered in case.
Okay, so it seems like the judge is going along with it. Okay.
And my understanding is you can't do anything until that expert actually is identified as a witness who's going to be called, correct?
That's correct.
She has been identified.
I understand, but it's not unknown at this point whether she's going to be called, and I assume since there's no agreement as to payment, potentially there's going to be an issue with the state deposing her at this point in time.
Correct.
So that's what I meant by he can't do anything until you get to the bottom of what she's going to be paid and whether she's willing to formally accept the case.
And also, from my understanding, from what I've heard from the judge from the pretrial hearing and the previous one, the judge just wants this to happen. He just wants to get the ball rolling. Like, let's go, let's do this. Like, what's up with all the holdups and stuff like that? So I think later on when the defense is like, oh, we're not sure if we can really, defend Sarah Boone by a certain date, judge is like, nah, let's just set the date for now. Let's just have the date set for there, and then we'll figure it out later. We'll discuss it later in the pretrial conferences.
Is that a fair
Hi,
statement?
Rain.
Semi-fair. She is formally willing to accept the case. The issue is the hourly rate. JAC hasn't changed their hourly rate for this area of expertise for over 10 years.
Wait, they haven't changed the hourly rate for over 10 years? Wait, hold on. Let me listen to that again.
The hourly rate. To accept the case, the issue is the hourly rate. JAC hasn't changed their hourly rate for this area of expertise for over 10 years.
I think he said hasn't changed. I know the caption says has changed, but I think he said hasn't. But the second part was kind of quiet. Oof. Update
Mr.
time.
Cacciatore, the request is to continue so that issue can be resolved. Do you have any objection to that?
No, Your Honor.
All right. I'm going to grant the request to continue under the circumstances.
That's what I'm thinking. I mean, that's what Frank Bankowitz mentioned in the previous pretrial. They're like, yeah, no one wants to touch this case. And I think the reason why they were able to finally find someone is because they're like, okay, I'll do it. But, my rate's 400. I think they tried to find someone that was like the 200 rate, the 150 rate, the 175 rate, whatever rate. And they probably all said no. So the only one that's willing to do it is probably the $400 person.
What's the hearing date that we're currently working with, Mr.
I want to
Banks?
say September the 18th, Judge.
That sounds like what my JA told me as well. For control purposes, I'm going to set the case for my September 20th pretrial, October 2nd trial period, with the understanding that we can potentially address pretrial. And I understand that you're unlikely to tell me that you're ready to try this case on October 2nd, regardless of what happens to the 18th.
Correct.
But I just want to have the case scheduled close in time to the 18th, so we can address them at the same time.
Thank you, Judge.
All right.
Have a good
That
weekend.
is the order of the court. Ms. Boone, you'll be returned to the Orange County Jail while Mr. Banquets continues.
You guys see what's in Sarah Boone's hand? She got something. She got something there. I mean, the title already ruins it. Brings judge handwritten letter. Sarah Boone's like, I got this letter ready for you, Judge.
Prepare your defense. All right?
Judge Boone.
Thank you, Judge. Have a good weekend.
Hold on one second. Ms. Boone, I've addressed pretrial. I've brought you over. I'm going to give you a moment.
Yeah, see, with the judge's tone right there, you can tell there's already some sort of like tension, maybe a little bit of animosity between the two of them. And we have seen it, her accusing the judge of a lot of different things that, I don't really understand. She calls herself smarter than the average inmate, but I don't know if people really go after the judges. That doesn't seem like a very smart idea. It doesn't seem like you'd be smarter than the average inmate. I feel like the average inmate wouldn't attack the judge, especially in a letter. But, the judge's tone here is very interesting because you could tell he's kind of already fed up with her.
I'm going to give you a moment if you want to share something else with me, but that's what I needed to address today. And I've got other matters that I need to address in short order. So,
I understand, and I'm grateful for your time. I had previously sent you a letter,
Oh, here we go.
and it has not been uploaded, but it was made an announcement to the courtroom during my pretrial that you do have it, and I was wondering why and if it will be uploaded, because I have another copy of it that I would like to hand deliver to you today.
I don't know why it has
I have a question. Why? I mean, I know why the judge doesn't want to deal with it, but like for her, would it just be like, wouldn't this matter just be dealt with like, hey, let's just talk it out really quick instead of just like handing the judge the letter? Like, I don't know. I really do wonder what the letter says. Is she complaining about her lawyers again? Wouldn't she just be able to address it like right now?
Not been uploaded. I'll have to talk to my JA about that. If you want to give me another copy, that's fine.
Yes, please.
Look at oh my God, look at all those notes right there. I see some bullet points right there.
To talk to my JA about that. If you want to give me another copy, that's
Look at that. Look at all these notes right there. She got notes within a notes and a note.
fine.
Yes, please.
All right. Go ahead and just tender it to one of the deputies.
I think the notes that she had was probably the things that she probably wanted to discuss. And then she didn't realize that she wasn't really going to say anything much. And then she's like, okay, I guess I won't discuss any of this stuff. But you know what? I got the letter, Judge. Upload the letter up to the system.
And actually, any objection if I just have the clerks scan it here in open court?
Yes, please. And do I normally get a copy? I haven't gotten one. I'm sorry.
Well, it'll be filed in the case.
If it's uploaded, Judge, I can make a copy and take it to her.
Okay. All right.
Yes, please. If
That looks like it's a lot of pages. I don't know if it's front and back either.
that would be okay, I would like to have that one uploaded. It's revised.
Okay. And what I had directed my judicial assistant was to disclose this to the attorneys. Again, to a great extent, when I read the original, you've covered a great deal of ground that we've covered in open court on multiple occasions about the method and manner of communication. Having read the original letter, I did not believe there was any additional action that I needed to take, which is why I didn't take any action on that letter. All right? So to be filed, Ms. Boone will be returned to the Orange County Jail pending further order of the court.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. It's just kind of interesting to see how docile she seems during these hearings, but then in her handwritten letters, there are some vicious attacks in there. She's accusing the judge of, what was one of the accusations? It was like profiting off her case somehow by leaking stuff or something like that. It's the jail haircut, okay? Like, her letters are very, very aggressive. But when you see her in pretrial, she's just like, okay, thank you. Oh, man. I wonder, has she been getting her smokes in jail? She's taking advice and knock it off. Listen, I hope she does turn it down a notch, okay? By a lot, because she kind of crazy. She's kind of crazy. Oh, man. Let's see. Was there anything else that I wanted to talk about with Sarah Boone? Did you guys want to talk about anything else with Sarah Boone? Was there any questions or anything like that? Oof. So I do have the letters, but we don't need a refresh on the letters, right? Hold on. I actually know what I do want to read this portion of the letter really quick. I do want to get it right. Let's see what she accused the judge of in the letter. Some of her cases. Oh man, she's got her own folder now in my computer. All her stuff was just piling on up. I think this part was addressed to the judge. Why are you allowing numerous case safety and protection elements to be breached, violated, and manipulated? Why has the gag order never been implemented? My case has turned to an unnecessary witch hunt from the innumerable violations of my case details being leaked and racketeered illegally in exchange for the website hits, viewer ratings, etc. In exchange for $$. What is your cut, Your Honor? You choose who knows what, where, and how in your courtroom. When did court minutes become live? Are you the one who authorizes the upload to the internet? It's all about how much rather than how did it happen. No matter the destruction caused in the meantime, and it is irreparable. So she accuses the judge of taking a cut out of all this. All right, that's the only refresher we need. Oh man, I ate a lot of food, so my stomach is slow digesting right now.